Week 6, School of Nock. Week 6? Week 5? I think it's week 5. Week 5, School of Nock. So last week, by the way, the lighting is really aggressive because I want to actually do some really close-ups of myself drawing in, because today it's about the monkey claw and getting that thing set in right on your face. It's about working on that draw and then thinking about this hand. So last week we were thinking about the shoulder. I practiced all week thinking just about this shoulder, getting this thing set up the exact right way. Getting this thing locked in here, raising my arm the right way, getting that draw back, but just thinking about that kind of, that dropped shoulder the entire week. And now we're moving on to the next phase, which is thinking about this hand, thinking about that draw, and then how everything is setting up with your face. I'm not using a wrist release, so if you're using a wrist release, you're gonna have to go watch John Dudley's video and make the modification, because I'm gonna just keep using the same release that I've been using, which is a thumb release. Still shooting the Bowtech today. It's so hard for me to not talk about the bow. Like, I wanna tell you guys what I think about it so bad, but I'm not going to. You're gonna have to wait. I did pick up my new arrows last night. I was actually surprised Bass Pro started carrying Victory arrows. These are the really small ones, the micro diameter. They're like they're like 4 millimeter. I think a standard arrow is closer to 6. And I'm gonna use these for basically all the bow reviews. They're coming from the factory, fletched with blazers, and then these are the Victory Elites. So they've got like a .001 as far as the straightness. Generally, hunting arrows are like a .003, so they're in theory a little less straight. I mean, I guess technically they're a little less straight, but just so you guys know kind of what I'm getting set up to do. So that's the setup this morning as I'm focusing again on week 5, School of Nock, drawing and that placement in my head. And again, I'm doing this more for me than I am for you guys. If you really want to learn about your shot, then video yourself. Like, literally just take your iPhone, set it up, and work on getting it set exactly in the spot that John is telling you to get it set. That's what I'm doing. I apologize for the aggressive light. It's really bad. And I also am sorry because I'm going to keep looking over at the screen over here because, again, this is about me knowing exactly how this thing is lining up with my face. So here's what I'm going to do. Got my stance right. Grip is good. I'm not forgetting any of the things that we've gone through. I'm stacking them. So you're starting at those foundation levels and you're just working your way up. Because obviously if I forget that my shoulder's not set the right way, then none of this really matters. Like, it's just gonna fall apart. So, thinking about that shoulder. Now I'm going to work on drawing past my face. What I'm going to do is, essentially, the goal is to keep your head dead straight so that all you're having to do is kind of turn. And then you're, in theory, you're right on that string. So what I'm going to try to do is keep my head straight, draw just past my face. So like John was saying, if you're drawing at your face and the D-loop breaks, you can do this. See that right there? You can do that. Okay, that was actually, I was really drunk and I was drinking out of a wine bottle and my buddy was like, "Stop drinking!" and he grabbed it and it slammed the bottle into my mouth. I was a much younger person then. I was irresponsible. It was a bad decision. All right, so let's get back to this. So my goal is to draw it past my face, and then when I rest it on my face here, I've got a lot of extra kind of, you know, because I'm getting a little older, so I don't want a ton of facial contact as I'm putting everything in because it affects the flight of the arrow. Like, if I'm pushing that thing into my face, it's going to affect it, and I know that I'm not going to be able to get it consistently jammed into my face meat the exact same way every time. So my goal is to basically bring it out and then set it to my face kind of lightly, as lightly as I can. And again, I'm videoing this so I can watch it back as well as share it with you guys, because I want to make sure that I'm doing this stuff the right way. I'm not a world-class archer. I'm not a John Dudley. I'm not a Levi Morgan. Yet. Maybe after I get done with the School of Nock I will be. I don't know. Feet. hips, everything's square, shoulder, drawing past my face. Okay, now I'm setting it into my face. I literally barely moved my head. He talks about the arrow being positioned between your lips and your chin. There's kind of that inset that we have, and that's where he talked about wanting that. So the good news for me is because I did this last year, I'd already made some adjustments and I'd kind of worked my body into that rut of habit. And so that draw felt really natural to me. All right, so let's do one a little bit quicker. So I came inside to put the footage together, and I'm noticing that on every single shot, even though I'm talking to you guys about my proper execution and how I'm trying to do it, what I actually am doing is I'm ducking my head out of the way. Because I've had a couple of D-loops rip, and when you punch yourself in the face, it's not an experience that you want to repeat. But I'm noticing that that is one of those things I'm going to have to really pay attention to, is not pulling my head off to the side. I've really got to kind of stay in there, draw past my face, and then put it on here. So I just got back from a hike, and I've been thinking about the shot the entire time. I'm literally going to go back now and re-practice and plug in some footage because I just kept doing it. As I was leaning over, I was pulling my head way over to the side, and I think it was just because I was freaked out of punching myself in the face. Who wants to punch themselves in the face? I'm gonna actually get it practicing the correct way. I've done the thing where you look at it and you go, yeah, I mean, it's starting to fray, but I think I can make it through today. It'll be all right. And the reality is, if your D-loop starts to fray, just replace it. It's not that hard. There's a couple of videos on it. Like, it really is not a hard thing to learn to tie. Okay, let's try to do this the right way. Feet, hips, got my arm up correctly. And then I'm gonna draw through, and I'm gonna try to just draw basically right past my head here. Hear that nice crack in my elbow? That was fun. My grip feels a little weird this time. I don't know if I didn't pay as much attention to that or not. Let's do another one. Feet, hips. All right, so I liked that. That felt good. And then I'm gonna draw through. I didn't duck my head out of the way that time, and that comes up a whole lot faster. One of the things that I noticed the last kind of little small tournament that I shot, I was the last one up at the line. Like everything was taking me so long to actually go through the process because I was drawing high. I would really try to sink low into my shoulders, and then I would come up to my face, and literally everybody had shot their 3 arrows and I was the last guy up there. I was still well within the time, but it's clear that this will not only help with actual accuracy, this is also going to help with like target acquisition and speed. Nope, that was a terrible one. One little hint I'll give you about the letdown, the 90% let off really makes the letdown on this thing a bear. A bear! So again, that's one of the reasons that filming is, I think, really important and can be super beneficial in the learning process. Plus, I just like to look at myself. Felt like my shoulder got away from me a little bit on that one. Felt like it kind of came up and then I had to reset. But again, look at the face. Look at where the arrow is. The other thing is, look at how my release is. I'm holding it. Well, I'll fire one off and show you. Look at how my release is. So that's how I'm holding it. And that was what he was talking about in the video. Not this, not having it down here like this, not having it up here, you know, loose in the front of it, however the hell I would do that. Not having it up here like this, but basically making those knuckles as, you know, relatively flat so that you're doing that consistently. And then the other thing, if you're looking at my hand, what I'm trying to do is basically turn my hand into kind of like a fixed paw. Like this thing literally, when I grab the release and I put my thumb on it, my goal, I want that barrel right in that crease. And there's a lot of different people that do this different ways, but here's why I like that. I can feel bone right there. Like that's the least meaty part of the thumb. And again, this is personal preference. I want to set it right on that bone, and then I'm not pushing with my thumb. I'm literally starting to pull my arm back, and then it depresses that barrel. So I'm gonna shoot a few more, and this is the thing I'm practicing this week. So tell me how last week went for you guys. Are you making any changes? Like, did you notice anything when you went and filmed yourself? Were you like, oh, yeah, no, I look like crap? And if you guys have a link of yourself doing it, like put it on YouTube and link it in the comments below, and I'll go over and I'll watch it. And just because I'm curious. Again, I'm not a world-class archer. We're all kind of doing this together. We're all learning together. So I'm realizing that as I add this next element, I'm having a harder time remembering to keep my shoulder in place. Like that was the reason that I skipped a few steps, was I felt like I kind of had the other ones down, and now I'm gonna have to practice all week with really remembering, keep that front shoulder in place, and then as you're drawing through, then you can start kind of focusing on that anchor point, so that I then shift my mind from thinking purely about that shoulder, in my shoulder, and I shift it to start thinking about my hand and placement on my face and my head angle, all that kind of stuff. I know that as we get even farther, I deal with just big time flexibility issues. I kind of shattered my collarbone a couple of years ago riding dirt bikes, and I know that at a certain point there's going to be some arm angle stuff that starts coming up, and that's going to suck. So it's like I said, comment down below, let me know how it's going for you guys, and try to post some videos. Go video yourself. It's going to make a huge difference in the way you're shooting. Being able to see yourself and be like, oh, I don't look like I'm supposed to look when I do this, and I didn't know that. Thanks for watching, everybody.